We turn now to the big story, a stake in the future.
The first new steel going up at the future Fiat Chrysler Mack Avenue plant in Detroit.
Action News was there for the big moment, the columns going up for the new paint shop at the site. The city hasn't seen a project like this in decades.
More than 600 workers working to overhaul a plant that will bring 5,000 jobs. The $1.6 billion project promises to have new cars rolling off its assembly lines by the end of 2020. We sent 7 Action News reporter Matthew Smith to get a look at what's happening.
Well, Fiat Chrysler says that this is the latest and greatest of everything when it comes from environmental all the way over to construction. But if you talk to the local folks, they say this means one thing even bigger than any of that, and that's a job here in this city.
It's a big accomplishment, not just for the city, but for our members for Local 25. We haven't had a job like this on this scale here in the city of Detroit for a long time.
I've got guys chomping at the bit to come out here. This is only half the manpower. Once they get some iron up, they're going to employ about 60 iron workers.
And that's just the iron workers. There's more than 600 men and women working on Mack 1 and Mack 2. There's everything from sound walls going up, hopefully to block noise from the neighbors butted up against the site, to brand new concrete. There's welders inside as they overhaul the old plant after the assembly lines halted for this work back in June. And outside, they put up the very first steel beam on this new construction site. We were on hand for the event. The beam, complete with the signatures of every man and woman on the job, a tradition that dates back decades, which coincidentally was the last time the city of Detroit saw a job like this, decades ago. Just since the construction started, you can see the old footprint here compared to the new one on your screen. Everyone is working around the clock to get the job up and ready to go. And when it's finished, it'll dwarf the Jefferson North plant, all while, according to the company, putting out less emissions and less wastewater than the older plants.
We're working hard really here to get this plant up and running, to get new jobs in the area, and we're focused on that. The biggest challenge is just, making sure that we can meet the schedule. My role here is to make sure I get the buildings ready in time so we can install the equipment.
If you want to take a closer look at what this plant actually looks like, we have everything from flyovers to 3D maps, really spelling out what this project means. We can even break it down to how many football fields worth of concrete they're pouring. We're putting all that information over at WXYZ.com. We're in Detroit. Matthew Smith, 7 Action News.
Great to see development. All right, Matthew, thank you. And don't forget to weigh in on what you think our big story should be tomorrow morning. Join our morning team live through Facebook at 10 a.m. and vote on which story you want us to cover.
The